Whatever the royalties earned, that is the minimum rent. So there is no question of minimum rent arises in the period of strike. Whatever the royalty earned, that itself is the minimum. How much royalties earned? 1,80,000. Your minimum rent also 1,20,000. Here the question of shortage and excess does not arise at all. Two short working by production account, two landlord by production account, two landlord by production account. Hello, my dear students. I am Dr. B.S. Subramania, called by name Dr. B.S.S., Professor in Commerce and Management, Vidhyaashram First Year College at Temple of Excellence, MYSURU. In this session, I am going to hand Advanced Financial Accounting, second semester, Unit 3, Session 5, in favor of royalty account. In the last session, I already told so many times, what is royalty? There are two parties. One is called lessor and is called the lessee. Lessor is nothing but a landlord. Lessee is the utilizer of the land. Whatever the land you have got, whatever the mines you have got, so the patent right is utilized by one person is lessee. To pay amount is payable to whom? Landlord. That is called lessor. So the two parties are, one is the lessor, one is the lessee. Lessee is the utilizer of the land, whereas a lessor is the owner of the land. He will utilize, he will pay compensation to a lessor for utilizing for 2 years or 3 years, agreement between the lessor and the lessee. So, in the problem always goes either the minimum rent or the royalty, whichever is more payable to landlord. What's the rule? Either the minimum rent or the royalty, whichever more should be payable to landlord. Landlord is not the loser of any loss at all, because he will get either the minimum rent or royalty, whichever is more. We'll move on to problem now. On 1/1/2001, Neyveli Collieries Limited leased some land. Now, which company is giving? Neyveli Collieries Limited leased some land from a landlord for a minimum rent of rupees 60,000 for the first year, 1 lakh in the second year, and thereafter rupees 2 lakh per annum, merging into a royalty of rupees 5 per ton with power to recover short working over the 2 years after occurring of short work. If there is what's a shortage come, that should be recovered in next 2 years. The annual output for the 5 years were 2001, 6,000 ton, 2002, 17,200 ton, 2003, 44,000 ton, 2004, 36,000, strike for 3 months. Only the output for how many months? 9 months is there. 9 months output is 36,000, 5 rupees. So, here 2005, 60,000. There was provision in the lease that in the event of a strike, this is important, in the event of a strike and the minimum rate not being reached, the actual royalty earned for that year, discharge all the rent emission. Whatever the royalties earned in the strike period, that itself is the minimum rent. Don't take the minimum rent into consideration. Whatever the royalties earned, that itself is the minimum rent. What's the rule? Whatever the royalties earned, that is the minimum rent. So there is no question of minimum rent arises in the period of strike. Okay, then move on to problem now. This is your royalties analytical table. 2,000, your output is 6,000 rupees. Minimum rent is 60,000. Royalty had to be 5 rupees per ton. 5 into 6, 30,000. There was a shortage of 30,000. So, payable to landlord, whichever is more, 60,000. Either the royalty or the minimum rent, whichever is more. Come back to 2002. 17,200 is the output. Your minimum rent is 1 lakh. The royalty earned is 86,000. There was a shortage of 14,000. Payable, whichever is more. Either the minimum rent or the royalty, whichever is more. 1 lakh that is payable to landlord. Now, the 30,000 should be recovered now because first year over, second year recovered. So, 4,400, 2 lakh. Your royalty is 2,20,000. How much surplus is there? 20,000. Out of 30,000 here, your 20,000 is recovered. How much could not be recovered? 10,000, which is considered as a loss. So payable to landlord, how much money? 2 lakh. So next year, this out of this 30,000, how much recover? 20. How much we could not recover? 10,000. That goes in favor of which year? 2003. Recover 20,000. Loss is 10,000. Still how much left over? 14,000. In the next year, it should be recovered. In the next year, here, your royalty is only 36,000 into 5, 1 lakh. As the problem says, whatever the royalty earn, that itself is the minimum. How much royalties earn? 1,80,000. Your minimum rent also 1,20,000. Here the question of shortage and excess does not arise at all. So the 14,000 cannot be recovered. Transfer to profit and loss account, irrecoverable. Payable to landlord, how much money? 1,80,000. In the next year, your output is 60,000. Into me, 3 lakh, 2 lakh. How much surplus is there? 1 lakh. Payable to landlord, whichever is more, is 3 lakh. Hope you understand this point. So in the strike period, whatever the royalty earn, royalty for 9 months, 36 into 5, 1,80,000. That itself is the minimum rent. Royalty and the minimum rent is one and the same. So we'll move on to ledger now. In the books of lessee, minimum rent account. Minimum rent account to landlord 60,000. By royalties 30,000. By short working 30,000. Next year, to landlord 1 lakh. By royalty 86,000. By short working 14,000. So entry, royalties account debtor, short working account debtor to minimum rent. I will repeat. Royalties account debtor, short working account debtor to minimum rent account debtor to landlord. This you have to learn. Now, landlord to bank, you pay 60,000. What is that 60,000 is minimum rent. Next year, how much you paid? 1 lakh. What is 1 lakh? That is the minimum rent. Next year, you paid how much money? 2 lakh. What is the 2 lakh? That is the royalty. Next year, you pay 1,80,000. That is the royalty. Last year, you paid how much? 3 lakh. That is the royalty. Here, we paid to landlord, but is it a minimum rent or the royalty? It's a minimum rent or the royalty you have to mention. Then move on. Short working. Here, landlord to buy. Short working to minimum rent 30,000. By balance carried down 30,000. To balance brought down 30,000. Next year also shortage of 14,000. Total shortage is 44,000. Brought down 40,000. So how much recovered? 20,000. How much could not be recovered? 10,000. So still we have got a balance of 14,000. Brought down the 14,000. We recovered, which cannot be recovered. Transfer to profit and loss account. So this is also a loss. This is also a loss. Not recovered. So 44,000 here brought down. How much royalty recovered? 20,000. How much would not recover? 10,000. What is still balance is 14,000. They should be recovered in next year, which could not be recovered in the next year, Transfer to profit and loss account. Move on to last one. Royalty to minimum rent by production account to minimum rent by production account. Royalty to landlord 2 lakh. To short working 20,000, it becomes 2,20,000. By production account 2,20,000. Royalty to landlord 1,80,000. By production account 1,80,000. Royalty to landlord 3 lakh. By production account 3 lakh. So this is the thing. But here only the major thing you have to learn is this table is most important. Year, output, minimum rent, royalty, short working, surplus, short working recover, short working written off. Then amount payable to landlord. 6,000 is the output. Your minimum rent is 60,000 and the royalty is 30,000. Shortage is how much? 30,000. Payable to landlord, whichever is more, 60,000. Second year, you got 17,200. Your royalty is 86,000. Your minimum rent is 1 lakh. There was a shortage of 14,000. What's the loss is? Either the minimum rent or the royalty. Whichever is more is 1 lakh. Payable to landlord. Next year, 4,400. Your royalty is 2,20,000. Minimum rent is 2 lakh. So there was a surplus of 20 out of 30. How much recover? 20. So recovered 20. How much could not be recovered? 10,000. Payable to landlord 2 lakh. Next year, you got 36,000 on this 5 rupees per ton, 1,80,000. Your minimum and royalty is one and the same. The question of shortage does not come. So 14,000 could not be recovered. Transfer to profit and loss. Irrecoverable amount, transfer to P&L account. So 1,80,000. Next year, 60,000, 2 lakh. Minimum rent 3 lakh is the royalty. Surplus is 1 lakh. Payable to landlord, either the royalty or the minimum rent, whichever is more. Hope you understand this particular table. So everything I have explained, especially shortage, you must understand very carefully. Balance is 44,000. How much recovered? 20,000. How much could not be recovered? 10,000. What's the balance? 14,000. Balance 14,000, which could not be recovered? 14,000. This is minimum rent, production account, or you can say profit and loss account. Minimum rent by production account, to landlord, to short working by production account, to landlord by production account, to landlord by production account. Hope you understand. This is the 5th session which I have been doing all types of problems. We'll do some more session, another 2 or 3 sections. Up to 10 session we can do it about the royalty is concerned with a royalty about the author. Till then, goodbye.